Welcome to Balanced Life with Debbie Carlin Boyle. Conversations connecting to a healthier you. The show that gives you all the latest and greatest health and wellness information to inspire you to live a life of balance and joy. Debbie Carlin Boyle is a health and nutrition coach, personal trainer, and fitness instructor who helps her clients live in balance with everything that feeds us, in addition to the food on our plate. Please welcome your host, Debbie Carlin Boyle.
Hello, good afternoon. Happy Tuesday, everybody. For all of those that are joining us live, I thank you for joining us today. And for those that are checking in with us later, thank you for joining us also. You have reached my show. This is Balanced Life with me, your host, Debbie Carlin Boyle. We are conversations that connect to a healthier you. I interview everybody who knows everything in the health and wellness realm. They are experts in their field, and hopefully we're giving you some information about your longevity with quality and how to obtain that. And we give you a chance to chime in and become part of the conversation. So to do that today, you can call us here at area code 323-524-2599. Again, it's 323-524-2599. At any point, if you want to make a comment, ask a question, chime in, and do that with us. If you are not with us live, or you don't want to be live, but you're watching live, you can also make a comment or ask a question on my YouTube channel or my Facebook page. We take a break, and during that time, I check those questions and comments, and so we can address them right here on the show in real time, which is very cool. And if it's after the fact, go ahead and ask a question, make a comment, and my guest or myself will get back to you post-show in whatever place that you've left the question or comment. So there you have it. And before we get started, I want to tell you a little bit about me and some opportunities that you could probably work with me if you wanted to. As I mentioned up front, I am a health and nutritional coach, a personal trainer, a fitness instructor, and really I call my business Balanced Life because that's what I do. I help people find balance with everything that we need to have come into alignment in our lives in order for us to find our joy, our health, our longevity, what quality, and live the life we were meant to live, that you deserve to live. So sometimes you need a coach for that. We all need a little bit of help on the road. Think about the Tom Bradys of the world. They get better with their coaches. They don't just do it on their own. And that's what coaches are all about. That's what we go and get trained for, so I can work with you on your individual needs and whatever it may be. We see what's kind of running low in your life, whether it's your finances, your career, your personal home life, and we try to move that up into balance with everything else that should come together. So to work with me, you can go to my website, which is Balanced Life by Debbie, DEBI.com. And there you'll find all the things that you need to do to get in touch with me, and you'll see all the things in detail that I do to help you find that balance. Also, when you go there, you're going to get a free download, which is a 3-day summer detox. It's summertime, and it's good to get a little jump start. So you're going to get 3 days, 3 meals a day with a shopping guide. So easy to fix, to help you feel lighter on your feet and give you a jump start to get into that bikini or whatever it is that you want to wear, those sundresses or those little shorts or whatever it is for you to feel lighter and not to mention healthier. So go ahead and do that. I'd really love to meet you. And if you want to, just pop in and say hi, get a conversation going with me. If there's anything on your mind, I give a free 1-hour assessment. So go ahead and take advantage of that, if you will. All right, on with the show today. This is something that's near and dear to my heart as a health coach, and we're going to get started with the introductions. So for a long time, those of us in the functional medicine field have come to know that food is medicine and that food has the power to heal. While a well-balanced diet is the foundation of good nutrition, there are instances when supplements can provide additional support to meet specific nutritional needs. Today, we're going to discuss all about this. My guest today is Victor Dedaj, who is a certified holistic health coach who is a wellness and nutrition expert. Victor is also a best-selling author, a certified success principles trainer, international speaker, and a network marketer. As a wellness expert, Victor considers himself not just a health coach, but a catalyst for change and a beacon of guidance in the pursuit of vibrant well-being. With his extensive knowledge, compassionate approach, and unwavering commitment to his clients, Victor has become a trusted ally on their journey to optimal health. So on that note, let's dive in. Will you please welcome my guest, Victor Dedaj, to the show. Hi, Victor.
Hi, Debbie. Great to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, did I annihilate your name? Pronounce your last name.
Dedaj.
Okay. Like duh. Okay, got it. Got it for next time, for after the commercial. How's that? Well, welcome, Victor. I'm so happy to have you today, and I like this little, conversation we're about to have because, like I said, it is near and dear to my heart. It is something I work with my clients. I talk about in my group sessions and with my workshops and talks that I do. All of this is very potent, I think, and not so much well known as we think it should be. So that's why I'm really happy to dig into it. But before we do that, I want to hear your sort of background story, where you're from. I think that's Central Park behind you, so I'm guessing you're a New York guy. So where you're from, and you've got other things going on because you're really, you work with entrepreneurs, you coach them, you motivate them, you're a motivational speaker, you're an author. So let's talk about that road, and then how did you also kind of pivot to the health and wellness situation and what you do there? So you're on.
All right. So, yeah, I'm a lifelong New Yorker. I've been here all my life. Definitely enjoyed living here. And, I've gone through a lot of different stages. I worked in the corporate world for a lot of years, and then I left it because I got tired of it. I felt like I was in a rut. I felt I was called to do something different. So I switched to working as an entrepreneur about 10 years ago. But actually, my journey to health started before that. It was probably around maybe 2005, 2006. I just read a couple of books about health and nutrition, and I actually was surprised by how little I knew about it and how little was actually taught, like in newspapers, on the internet, on news channels. And I was surprised that so many things were being hidden from us. And I said, well, I need to start learning about it. So that's where my journey about learning about health and wellness started, probably about 17, 18 years ago. And then, so again, in 2013, I started working as an entrepreneur, and I felt like I was making a difference in people's lives because when I was working in the corporate world, I felt like I was only helping like a handful of people. But in my journey as working as an entrepreneur, I felt like I've been able to help so many people because a lot of people struggle as entrepreneurs, and it can take a while to be successful. Which is why I think in pretty much any field, a coach is extremely important.
But as an entrepreneur, your focus was to help others, or was it, and you were going to make money, or have a successful career by helping others be an entrepreneur. So you were really kind of layered, correct?
Yeah, you start. No one. I also make money for myself, so I build up my own business. But then later on, 3 years later, I built a coaching practice, helping people learn the principles of success. But also over the last several years, I've also been focused on health and wellness. So I'm coaching in both success principles and in health and wellness because there are so many people out there who are struggling with their health. And what's amazing is there are a lot of people who are young who are struggling, people, teenagers, people in their 20s. 50, 60 years ago, people in their 20s did not have many health problems, but it has exploded over the last several decades. And to me, that's very alarming.
Yeah.
And I want to help people out. And one of the best ways to help is through nutrition, which we're going to go into.
Yeah, we're going to get all into that.
So
I imagine you as a coach in 2 different modalities. One, coaching entrepreneurs and people in their field in how to be successful. And two, in the health realm, they overlap. Because I think when you're healthy, you're more successful with everything in life. So, it's hard when you're not taking care of yourself and you're trying to accelerate in the career that you're passionate about. It's very hard to accelerate when you've got foggy brain and you can't quite get out of bed in the morning. You're not feeling motivated because you're not taking care of yourself. You're not putting the right fuel in you. You're not eating right. So I imagine that, aside from your curiosity on how little you knew, that those two things that you can help people on both ends, and then even your health coaching clients, because you have the background in helping them be successful in their careers, you can help them through coaching their health that their careers are going to take. I know I find for me, by helping them get healthier, they take off in all areas of their life. Is that correct?
I totally agree with you on that. In fact, when they asked Richard Branson years ago, what is the first thing you should do if you want to become a billionaire? And the first words out of his mouth was exercise. He stressed being healthy, because you need to have your health thing. If you have good health, you can do so much more. So I totally agree with you. If you're sick, if you're overweight, you don't have the energy, you're not sleeping well, it's going to affect everything. So yes, the healthier you are, the more successful you'll be, the more productive you'll be. You'll just get a lot more done. So I totally agree. It overlaps in many ways. You really need to take care of your health. You'll be successful in so many different fields if you're healthy. And if you don't take care of your health, it's just you'll find you just won't do as well.
Right.
So I totally agree with you.
Yeah. So that's really cool, because I rarely interview people that have two coaching modalities like that they're successful in both, and yet yours overlap, I think. And I think that's great. That's a great way to work with somebody. So you're a longtime New Yorker. You've stayed in New York. I know you traveled. What was it that brought you to Hong Kong for a while? Because I think there was a turning point in your life when you went to Hong Kong, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I always wanted to go visit Asia. I have a lot of friends from, who have a background in Asia, and I have friends that live out there, and they always said, come visit me. So one of the places I always wanted to visit was Hong Kong. It's just a very worldly city. To me, in some ways, it has some similarities to New York, just a Chinese flavor, very international. A lot of great food, a lot of great sights to see, really beautifully lit at night. And if you travel, for example, if you go to the train station, the signs and the announcements are both in Chinese and in English. So even if you don't know too much Chinese, you can get by, because it was a former British colony. So English is a very important language there as well. So yeah, and I met a lot of interesting people, and got together with a lot of friends. They showed me around, and definitely one of the best things to see there is see the big Buddha. It's this like 260-foot statue of the Buddha, and you go near the top, you get this beautiful view. It's amazing.
And when you went there, on the first time you went there, I'm not sure how many visits you've had, but on the first time you went there, you were in the corporate world, and there was something about that trip, right, that just spawned you wanting to make a pivot and get out of the grind. What was that?
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah.
What was that aha moment for you?
And that was during the last 3 years I was working in the corporate world, and I realized I wanted to see more of the world. I wanted to meet more people, and I just wasn't being exposed to that, because when I was in the corporate world, I was just really working on my desk and interacting with a few, portfolio managers, and they appreciated the work that I did. But I didn't feel I was making a difference in many people's lives. They never really sent me anywhere. They still people working in other parts of the company to visit different cities. So I really didn't get to interact with a lot of different people. So, and the other thing is, when I'm working in the corporate world, your vacation time is limited. You can only go certain times of the year. You got to make sure you're covered. So, you're limited as to what you can do, where you can go.
Mm-hmm.
Once I became an entrepreneur about 10 years ago, I could just go whenever I wanted to. So if I wanted to travel, so I go to some conference or just travel anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
I could just do that. So it just made, I think, when I went to Hong Kong, it really opened my eyes to say, there's a lot more I want to see, and I'm limited because of where I am right now. And again, there were a lot of good people in my company, but I just felt the kind of work I was doing was not what I wanted to do long term.
Yeah. And that's, again, one of the things I do with my clients. If, sometimes their health suffers because they're suffering in their career, in their work world, in their corporate life, or whatever type of grind they feel they're in, it will, again, what we alluded to earlier, take down their health. And so that I'll work on trying to find a better situation for them and the road to do it. Because as you know, when we coach people, it's not one big abrupt change. They're small little actionable steps that set you up for the change. And so that way I can coach them through that without them feeling lost or deprived, that they're not going to have the income that they need while they're trying to pivot and adjust to a different career that might make them happy. So, I guide them through that. I think that's important. And that's part of balance in life. That's part of your health and your wellness and your self-care, I think. Let's get into, if you want to, this concept that we've discussed about using food as medicine. And I think, and some of the things that I've learned over time, is that food is information. It goes into our bodies and it can heal us or harm us, depending on some things that are known as food aren't really food. They're chemicals. That's not food, even though you can put them through your digestive tract. They're doing more harm than good. So let's talk about food as medicine and how we can use it, and then why and what supplements we need to use in addition to food, and the reason why we need supplements this day and age. So what are your thoughts about food as medicine?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of food out there, as you alluded to, that are not really food. They're fake foods. And there's a saying, if it comes from a plant, you should eat it. If it's made in a plant, you should not eat it.
Right, exactly.
And so it's like some of these artificial sweeteners, these artificial oils, margarine's fake food. And, they vilified butter for so many years, but then now they discover butter is actually healthy for you.
Yeah, it's a good fat.
It's not good fat.
Right.
It's a good fat, exactly. And so they've for many decades, they promoted this low fat, high carb diet, which has led to massive increases in diabetes and heart issues, whereas people needed to switch around. You need to have low carbs, higher fats, more protein, and we can go into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But definitely the kind of foods you say you eat is very important. Natural foods are great. And obviously lots of vegetables, some good fruits, stuff that has more nutrition in it. And you got to avoid a lot of these, unfortunately, certain oils that are very dangerous.
Seed oils. Yeah.
Soybean, canola oil. These are all very bad for you. If you're going to cook, avoid these oils. Maybe you want to try some olive oil or coconut oil, but don't cook with those oils. Corn oil is also very bad. I mean, vegetable oils, you think it comes from vegetables. It's not. It's very harmful to you.
Yeah.
It causes oxidizing, and it can lead to all kinds of issues, including cancer. And the way you fry your food, you got to be careful, because if you do everything well done, it increases the risk of cancer. If you're going to cook meat, it's probably best to do it either medium rare or rare. So that is also very important.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, getting back to the oils, I don't think, here's part of the problem, and this is the shift. And, again, speaking of our functional medicine world, there's not enough of us advocating out there, and there's way too many very large corporations selling us a bill of goods that are harming us. So they're using everything that's packaged pretty much and set on a shelf has been made with a bad oil or has a bad oil ingredient. And then, of course, all of the artificial flavors that are in there and chemicals to enhance the flavor or to make you want to come back for more. And there's these commercials. I mean, how many health food commercials do you see? Probably never.
Rare.
Yeah, it's so rare. It's so rare. And anytime you go in a restaurant, same. Unless you're in a very healthy restaurant that takes care and you're making that trek to that rare place. Yeah, not, I live in California. You live in New York. We're sort of a melting pot. I'm here of where people thrive on health. Well, not necessarily. There's only a handful of restaurants that don't use bad oils, that don't fry their food, that don't use chemicals or processed food, but use organic, real, whole food. It just is. It should be just a given. Instead, it's something we have to dig deep for in order to have in a restaurant or in order to buy all the ingredients to cook healthy for ourselves, which, by the way, is always the better thing to do, because then you're in control and then you know what oil was being used. Because sometimes waiters don't know, and you'll ask, what kind of oil was this cooked in? And they won't know, but usually it's just a big vat of canola oil or some kind of bad seed oil sitting in the kitchen. And you're just accumulating pollution in your body that way. So I think, education is key in understanding how food is information to either harm you or help you. And that's why working with someone like us can help you see through all of that rhetoric and all those things that are coming at us that, big corporations and big pharma, they want us sick because then they can create things like Ozempic and make a lot of money off of it to make us fat and have type 2 diabetes. And then they're going to create, which they did, medications to bring us back down so we're not overtaxed in our blood sugar. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's a vicious circle, if you ask me. Sorry, I just got off on my
Yeah, no, I just want to add to
my
what you
soapbox.
said. About 100 years ago, there was cancer, diabetes, heart disease was not that common in this country.
Right.
But then they changed things. There was a lot of holistic schools of medicine. But then something came out in the mid-1950s called the Flexer Report, which was funded by one of those big corporations. I won't name the name. And after that, they started funding the medical schools, which pushed the medicines to big pharma, which we were just talking about. And things have changed over the last 100 years. So there were a lot more homeopathic, holistic schools 100 years ago. Now they're starting to come back. But the money is, like you said, it comes to big pharma because they make money. They make money by you getting sick.
Mm-hmm. It's sick care too. Sick care.
It's sick care. And the more meds you're on, the sicker you get. And one of the reasons it happens, not just because a lot of them have very bad side effects. It doesn't cure anything, number one. It only masks the symptoms. But not only that, it drains you of the nutrients that you have in your body, whether it's CoQ10 or magnesium, some of the other nutrients that your body needs. A lot of these medicines will drain you of that, and it helps you get even sicker. That's why these people who've been on these meds for 20, 30 years, they're not getting better. They usually are getting sicker.
Yeah, because they're having all the repercussions of what the meds are doing. And again, that's accumulative. They think it's helping them. And granted, there are medications that my little sister is a type 1 diabetic. She's a juvenile diabetic. Without her medications, she wouldn't be here. So I understand that. But really, what we're talking about is prevention for the things that we have control of. I often talk about our constitution versus condition, and our constitution being our genetics, really, and our predisposition to certain things. And then our condition is weight. How do we take control over our constitution? What can we do? We can only do our best, but the only way to do your best is to educate yourself on what you're doing to yourself and not actually feed the fire, if you will. We're going to actually get into all of this. We're going to talk about what we should be eating and what we should be supplementing. We kind of alluded to the fact that we need supplements because of what's happened over the years. We just, our crops have been compromised. Environmentally, we're completely and totally depleted. And so we need to add certain things. And we're going to talk about those supplements. But first, we're going to have a message from one of my sponsors, which is really apropos for what we're talking about. We'll be right back after this message. Sicera Oleo de Oliva is an extra virgin olive oil company with a mission to provide high-quality, current-season Italian oils to families. They have partnered with 2 centuries-old family farms in the Tuscany region of Italy to grow, harvest, and bottle their amazing oils. Founded by a nutritionist who has a love of the land, sustainability, nutritious foods, and of course, Italy, they strive for peak freshness and high nutritional content in every single bottle. All of their oils are current season, extra virgin olive oil, bringing you a true branch to bottle experience, and I know firsthand. So, for an offer, go to www.cesirolioliva.com and enter Balanced Life 10 for 10% off. I know you're going to love this healthy and delicious addition to just about any meal. All right, we're back. We just talked about olive oil. We're going to talk about all the great reasons why you should use olive oil. And go ahead and check it out. If you go, you'll get 10% off of this directly from Italy. This is a great oil. I use it. I know it's really good. So welcome back with my guest. He's holistic health coach, Victor Dedaj. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yes. Yay. I said it right. So we're just getting into what we should be eating. Olive oil. Boom. That's number one on our list. That's a good oil. Good oils are really important. Why are they important, do you think, Victor?
Because they're healthy. Look, number one, you just want to avoid the bad oils. So we talked about the ones vegetable oil, canola oil, soybean oil, because they do so much damage. Olive oil will, give you some health benefits. It won't harm you in any way, nor will coconut oil, for example. If you stick with those two oils, you're not going to have any health issues. So the number one thing is they don't do any damage. That's the most important thing. But both oils also have some health benefits. So all the more reason to take it. So it's a win-win situation. So be careful what you cook with. And if you're using some of those other oils, which we talked about that are harmful, get rid of it right now. Olive oil might be a little more expensive, but isn't your health worth it?
Absolutely. And I'm also going to add in the oil category that olive oil is really good for you, but it has a very low smoke point. So I cook with avocado oil because it has a high smoke point, which means that it isn't going to go rancid while you're cooking, and that you take out all those good benefits of the oil if you cook with it at a high point. So especially if you're going to cook in the oven at a high heat. So I like to use the olive oil when I'm done cooking and drizzle that and use it, in a more cold form. So you should think about that and go for the oils, the good healthy oils, avocado, coconut, and, sometimes I cook with ghee, butter, what we were talking about earlier. So, getting informed about that and how to cook with certain oils is also important, because you want to get the benefits from it and not just have it go rancid on you. You're going to lose the taste if you cook olive oil at a high heat. So you might as well, revel in the taste and use it more as a drizzle. So what do you think? I mean, I know components of a Mediterranean diet is the type of thing that we should be eating, which means good oils, good fats, protein that comes from good sourced, whether it's animal protein or not, and then lots of vegetables. Eat the rainbow, get your phytochemicals from certain vegetables, your crucifix vegetables, and and then we can add on with other things. What else? What do you suggest people should be eating? What should their diets be?
Yeah, also sprouted vegetables are good, like Brussels sprouts, broccoli sprouts. Those are also good, have a lot of nutrition in them. And also, sometimes when you're cooking some of these vegetables, be very careful, because if you cook it too much, you can lose some of the nutrients in them as well. So that's
true.
Something I want to add. Proteins are important. And when you sleep, number one is also very important. Now, people don't get enough sleep, and it affects your health in so many different ways. And it could lessen your lifespan if you're only sleeping 5 or 6 hours a day. So definitely try to get 7 to 8 hours. and you're going to function much better. You're going to live longer, and you lose nutrients while you sleep. And the nutrients you lose the most are proteins. So in the morning when you get up and you're having your breakfast, you should actually make sure you get enough protein. But what do most people do? They have cereal, bagels, croissants. They're having
Again,
carbs.
the processed, carb, sugary, really processed, terrible food that not only does it not do a good thing for your body, the reason why you get tired and have that slump later on in the day is because how you broke your fast. Breakfast is breaking the fast from the first thing you ate in the day. So if you're not going to eat nutritious food that's going to really jumpstart your day, then no wonder why you're having the slump. And that's what, again, talking about the bill of goods we're being sold. Think of all the cereal commercials out there. My poor little almost 3-year-old granddaughter, you know, if she's watching a show, all of a sudden every single sugary cereal and Pop-Tart and all this crap that's being sold to her, she runs to her parents and like, oh, I want this and I want that. And so, you know, her parents know better because I am the mother and they grew up with me. But, you know, it's unrelentless. That kind of breakfast is being pounded, and those kind of things are being pounded into our children, our babies. I don't know. I get so incensed about this stuff. So
They learn bad habits from it. I mean, when I was a kid, I liked stuff like, you know, Frosted Flakes
of
and
course,
Froot Loops. They all tasted so good. When I grew up, I realized, man, these things have so much sugar in it. No wonder they taste so good. But sugar is one of the worst things for your
it's
health.
the worst.
It does so much damage, and we can get into
just
that
poison.
in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing I do, another thing I recommend for breakfast, and this is a food that's been demonized by the other side, are eggs. Eggs are some of the most healthy things you can. They have so much nutrients in them. They have a lot of protein. The egg yolk, which is where most of the nutrition is so important. Sometimes we'll only eat the egg whites. They'll worry about cholesterol. But here's the thing. Most of your cholesterol is made by the liver. So if you eat dietary cholesterol will be offset by the liver making less cholesterol. So if you worry about cholesterol, don't worry about it, because the more eggs you eat, the less cholesterol your liver will make. So it's not going to affect it anyway. And you can get so much nutrition from it. There's so many nutrients. It's one of the best foods to eat. And it's something I would highly recommend early in the morning for breakfast. And it's sadly been demonized by the other side, but definitely one of the healthiest foods you can eat in the morning.
I agree with you. Yeah. I mean, making that the scapegoat for heart disease, you know, because of the cholesterol is ridiculous, and it's unfortunate. Now, not everybody, eggs can be considered a sensitivity food for some people. Not everybody, some people don't even like the texture of them, but not everybody can eat them. They're food sensitive. I do recommend that my clients do food sensitivity tests so they can see there are some foods. There is a list of foods. I think I have them on my website that are highly sensitive foods that, you know, you might want to, if you feel bad after you eat them, or if you have any kind of aches or stomach cramps, those kinds of things are probably, again, food is information, is your body talking to you and giving you some information that this might not be the best thing for you. And it doesn't, you can get a kit, you don't have to go to a functional medicine doctor, you don't have to, your regular general practitioner probably isn't going to be able to do a food sensitive. And I'm not talking about scratch tests. I'm just talking about there are simple Dutch tests and things like that you can do and find out where your food sensitivities are, and it can break it all down for you. But I do agree with you that it's a good source of protein and a good source of energy to get your day started. You know, stop with those sugary things that they sell at Starbucks. I don't want to call it out, but yes, mostly Starbucks, unless you're going in there for a green tea, iced tea, no sweet is how I would get it. You really don't need to go into Starbucks because there's nothing in there that's good for you. You know?
Exactly. And here's the thing. So many people have been conditioned to think it's the fat that makes you fat. It's the carbohydrates and the insulin. It's more of a hormonal thing that makes you fat. Think of it this way. When farmers want to fatten up their cows and other animals, what do? They give them carbohydrates, because farmers know it's the carbs that will make the animals fat. They will give them the grains, the corn, and stuff like that, because they know it'll fatten up the animals. So if you have any doubts, carbs don't make you fat, just think about that.
Absolutely. That's so true. And so when we talk about carbs, there are good carbs and bad carbs. Maybe we can break that down in the simplest terms for our viewers today. What are good carbs? Let's start with that.
Well, like vegetables will have some good carbs for you. And another thing that's also good is a carb is fiber. Fiber is the only carb that will not raise your blood sugar level.
And what are good sources of fiber?
Um, very, like pears, apples, wheat products, a lot of vegetables will have have fiber in it. And one thing you should look when you any kind of food is look at something called the net carbs, and that is the total number of carbs minus the fiber. So this is like 15 total carbs and say 5 grams of fiber. That means the net carbs is 10. So the net carbs is actually the most important number. So the higher the fiber, the better. So, and when you're looking at your breads, there are a lot of what we call keto-friendly breads, like they have very low carbs. So the higher the fiber and the lower the sugar, the better. So yeah, you can just look at it. A lot of there are almonds are another great source
Yeah.
of fiber as well.
Yeah, we just put up a list of things that are foods that are high in fiber. So we got
Yeah,
beans and
yeah,
legumes, nuts,
yeah.
vegetables, fruits. Those are all high in fiber. They're all again they're all plant-based. They all come from the earth. So these are the things that are yeah, so there's a list of 33. I mean, you can Google your high fiber foods. And the good thing about high fiber foods is they keep your systems moving along because the idea is that what we eat, we want to get the nutrition value out of it. We want to get the vitamins, the minerals, and everything else that food has to offer the benefits from. And then we want to get rid of what we don't need. And if you're putting processed food and things that are toxic to your system in your body, because we also already have a toxic load from just environmental stuff. So why add to it with the food, which is like a direct hit to your gut? And, gut health is overall health. So if you want to keep keep everything flowing and not let things accumulate to cause disease, then you want to be looking up these foods, especially fiber, which helps us eliminate, and it's important. Let's talk about are the reasons for supplements and the most important supplements that we should be supplementing with. So,
Actually, you mentioned the gut. I just want to tackle that for a quick minute because gut health is so important. 70 to 75% of your immune system is in your gut, and for a variety of reasons, many people have guts that are not in good shape. Processed foods, sugar. If you've taken a whole bunch of antibiotics that can destroy your gut health because antibiotics don't just destroy the bad bacteria, but they also destroy the good bacteria that you need for your body. And because if you look at antibiotic, the word anti means against and bio means life. So it means against life. So, and a lot of people who've gotten antibiotics over the years really have a damaged gut system. And people who have allergies also acquire it because they usually have a bad gut system. And the gut and the brain work together. So a lot of mental issues actually can arise because of the gut issues. And 80% of your serotonin is produced in your gut. It's actually very little is produced in your brain. So when they're giving all these antidepressants focused on the brain, they're focusing on the wrong area. It needs to be focusing on the gut. So if you take care of your gut, you're going to get rid of a whole host of health issues.
big time.
And I would recommend a great book, Dr. David Perlmutter, who wrote Brain, which is a great book about the dangers of sugar and gluten. Also wrote a book years later called Brain Maker, which talks about the relationship between the gut and the brain. So I recommend those two books by him. Now, about supplementation. Now here's the thing. It's important to eat a well-balanced diet, healthy foods, less junk. But for a whole bunch of different reasons, over the last 80, 90 years, the foods that we have, especially the vegetables and the fruits, don't have the nutrition that they had, say, in 1936. And there was a Senate report that came out of that year, which warned us because of soil erosion and other things, that the, there are just not enough nutrients in there. In fact, when farmers farm, they usually just have three nutrients in the fertilizers. It is nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. So, and if it in the minerals, if it's not in the ground, the plants cannot make minerals. Plants can sometimes make vitamins if they get enough water and sunlight, but plants cannot make minerals. So if it's not in the ground, the plants will not be able to get it. So, and there's a number of other reasons why. But you even eat the healthiest food, all organic, non-processed, you're still going to be deficient in a whole bunch of vitamins and minerals. And most diseases are caused by vitamin and mineral deficiencies. So, for example, and something like copper, if you're deficient in the trace mineral copper, you're more likely to get aneurysms. There's something simple as that. So, one of my favorite minerals, which is one of the most important ones, is magnesium.
Mm-hmm.
It helps with your heart health. It helps with blood pressure. It helps with depression. It helps with migraine headaches. And it's a great antioxidant.
Helps with sleep. Helps you sleep.
Helps with sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take it before you sleep. You're going to sleep. But another thing it does, it's a muscle relaxer. So there's one reason why it helps sleep. But it also counteracts calcium, which is another very important mineral. But too much calcium with not enough magnesium could cause a whole bunch of health issues, including heart issues. You can have calcification of the heart. So magnesium offsets calcium, which is a muscle constrictor. So it helps in so many different ways. Selenium is another great thing. Also helps with the heart health, helps with brain health, a great antioxidant, great for your thyroid. It helps with so many different things. And
I take selenium, I'm going to interrupt you for one second. Rather than taking the supplement, though it is in some of my multi stuff, but I eat 4 Brazil nuts a day. Yeah, it's a great source of selenium. It's like a direct hit, again, straight from the plant, straight from the earth to you without anything in between. So 4 Brazil nuts a day. I've been doing this for quite a while right now, and you're going to notice a difference. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just want to throw that in there. It's cheaper than a supplement. It's cheaper. Go get a bag of Brazil nuts.
Brazil nuts are great. They're very healthy for that reason that you mentioned. And selenium is also a great cancer fighter. It's important for the production of glutathione, which is your chief cancer fighter. So that's selenium helps with so many different things. And also the deficiency of selenium has been linked to sudden infant death syndrome, cystic fibrosis, and a few other diseases. So one of the most important minerals you can get. Vitamins, also vitamin C, good for your heart health. It's good for your immune system. Actually, it's good for sun. Instead of using these toxic sunscreens, a cream with vitamin C. Vitamin C helps protect you against the sun if you're worried about that. So it's one of the best vitamins you could take. Vitamin D, of course, helps.
Vitamin D is one of the most important. Yeah, and helps,
Go ahead.
Sunshine gives us vitamin D, but not every one of us live in a sunshine state or country. And so we need to supplement for that reason. And the other thing is that there is sun damage that comes with too much sun. So we need to supplement for those reasons. And deficiencies in vitamin D do lead to many, many, many different disabilities in getting, different ailments. So, and it's over a period of time, and most people are vitamin D deficient. What do you recommend as a dose of vitamin D per day?
Yeah, a lot of people have different recommendations. I think 5,000 is fine. Some people say 2,000. So I think either one is fine. The 400 international units that they recommend is totally ridiculous. You're going to be totally deficient.
Yeah.
So me personally, I think 5,000, but there's some who recommend 2,000 to 3,000.
Yeah.
But if you get 2,000, that's going to give you 5 times the amount of 400. So I think the minimum should be probably 2,000. So.
Yeah, a day, every day. Another
every day.
Supplement I really like, and I really got into this because of COVID, was quercetin. And quercetin, I'm saying that right, yes. And that's because it really helps build your immune system. And knock on wood, I haven't had COVID at all. I don't know anybody. Every member of my family has had it once or twice. maybe 3 times for a few. And same with every single one of my friends, all who are considered, healthy. They exercise, they sleep well, they eat well. But I don't think so lucky. I really think the quercetin helps, and it helps with so many things in your system. That's another sort of daily vitamin I take. Sorry.
I take it too. I totally agree with you. It's definitely great for your immune system. Zinc is also great for the immune system.
Mm-hmm.
When COVID came, a lot of people started buying lots of zinc.
Yeah.
So, zinc is definitely one of the best things for immune system. And
Yeah.
vitamin C and vitamin D for immune system. So there are a lot of things, and that's unfortunately over the last 3 years, we weren't hearing a lot about that. We were hearing about a bunch of other things, which I'm not going to say publicly. But the best thing, if you want to deal with these sickness and illnesses, the best thing to do is to work on your immune system, make it stronger. Work on your gut health. Again, 70% of your immune system is in your gut. So taking these things could definitely make a big difference. And we went back to vitamin C. There's some guy like Linus Pauling. He would take up to 10,000 milligrams a day, and he lived to be 94. So you don't need to take that much, but I think if you take 1,000 a day, it'll make a big difference. I think the recommended daily allowance is 60, which is ridiculous. And here's the thing with vitamin C, a lot of people don't notice. We're one of the few animals that actually don't make our own vitamin C. Us, some primates, and guinea pigs. Every other animal can make it, and it's important for your stress. When the animal gets stressed, he makes a lot of vitamin C. And that's why when we get stressed, we lose some of that vitamin C, we lose magnesium. So we, unfortunately, one of the few animals that cannot make it. And the stress thing is one of the important things of vitamin C. So that's why don't take 60 milligrams. Take at least 1,000. It's going to make a big difference.
I agree. Sometimes when my kids used to get sick, when they were younger, I did something called vitamin C loading with like vitamin C powder. And my daughter got mono when she was in 9th grade. And I went to a holistic practitioner who suggested this protocol of vitamin C loading. 24 hours later, she snapped out of it. Whereas her other friends that's Epstein-Barr, sort of the same virus. It's that same that just knocks you down. And that virus kind of lives dormant in your body and will rear its ugly head if you don't keep up on this vitamin C, regimen that you need to do. We are just running down on time right now. Let's talk about how people can work with you and where they should go to do that, and then we'll end on a final note.
Sure. Actually, I'll just mention one last thing.
Yes.
Blood thinners, like they'll give you one blood thinner that's made for rat poison, and they're very dangerous. But hospitals know this. Vitamin E is a natural blood thinner. In fact, very often when you're going to have surgery, they'll tell you sometimes right before and often right after, don't take vitamin E for several days because it can cause bleeding. They know it's a natural blood thinner. So why are they giving warfarin and quinine and all these other things instead of vitamin E, which doesn't have the side effects that those other things do? So another thing a lot of people don't know about vitamin E is a natural blood thinner. So
good one. Okay, good to know. Well, this was just a wealth of information. If you want to know more, how can people get a hold of you, Victor?
Sure. So you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can also reach out to me on Facebook. And if you want to get a free health evaluation done, and we can go over your health evaluation and see how we could work and see how we can improve it, you can go to my website, yourfreehealthevaluation.com, and we'll go over your free health evaluation.
Oh, very nice. Okay, I do this with all of my guests, but I want you to leave us with final thoughts, final word. It could be a word, a sentence, a phrase. So what would you like to leave the audience with today?
Number one, supplements are cheaper than surgery. And number two, don't let people who make money off you getting sick take control of your health. You need to take control of your health yourself.
Well said. I always say that. Take control. You're in control of your body. You know yourself best. You know when something's not right. Dig deeper if you don't get the answer you want. And, do it hopefully in the most holistic way that you can do it. Prevention is everything. Food is medicine. Food is information. Food can harm you and food can cure you. So use that as your guide. Victor, I want to thank you for your time and your expertise today. Thank you so much for giving all of this information to my audience. And I want to thank you, the audience, for joining us. Now, I do have one caveat next show, which is in 2 weeks, because I'm the second and fourth Tuesday, July 11th. I'm going to be doing a live show at 4 p.m. And the reason being is I'm going to highlight Dr. Sonia Batra on my show, and she is a world-renowned dermatologist. She was on the show The Doctor for many years. She's also my dermatologist and my friend, and I'm really excited to host her. So just remember, 2 weeks, July 11th, we're going to be here at 4 p.m. So join us and ask your questions, make your comments. I'll put some info out ahead of time. If you can't join us live, we'll answer your questions on the air. So once again, I want to thank you for joining me today. I want to thank Victor. And please go out and keep finding those conversations that connect to a healthier you. Bye, everybody. See you in 2 weeks, 4 p.m. Bye.